Hello, so today I'll be going over OOP, which is essentially object-oriented programming. So the actual concept of object-oriented programming is very large and very difficult to fit in a tutorial, but I suppose I'll put it in the basic introduction. So I'll basically be doing a lot of stuff just in ready, so here I'll be writing down a bunch of things. So as we know our world, we can describe it using objects, and then we can describe the objects through different ways. So say for example, meet a person. If someone asks you who the person is, you can describe them with various different things. For example, age. You can describe a person also using gender. You could possibly say their height, their race, and then you can say if they're married or not. Okay? So these are different people. So say for example, one of those people is me. So, ratio, this is me. My age is 16. My gender is male. My height is 180 centimeters. My race is white, married, no. Okay, so this is Horatio. So now there's different types of people who have different focuses. But essentially, I am a person. It is a relationship. A Horatio is a person. So I am a person. But say we want to make a program that verifies a type of person that you are. For example, if you're a doctor or an engineer. Let's add a couple more fields to that. So let's add the field of doctor. So am I a doctor? No, I'm not. But let's say we go to Dr. Bob. So Dr. Bob is 42. He's a male. He's 192 centimeters. Race Asian. Married, yes. But he also is specialized in neurology. And he has a residency from University of Toronto. So what we want to do is we have to differentiate between Horatio and Dr. Bob. Now what is Dr. Bob? Dr. Bob is a person, but he is also a doctor. So doctors can have a specialization in a place where they did their residency, and let's say medical school also. Okay? So let's say medical school, whatever school of doctors. I don't know any medical schools. Anyways, so we have these different things. So the concept of object-oriented programming is to encapsulate all of this data into a set template. So this may seem complicated, but let's start it off. So let's have a class called a person. So this is my person, okay? This is a class called person, and we have to add variables into it. In object-oriented programming, you want to hide the variables, and I'll explain why later. So you use the private key. Private means basically they're hidden. You cannot access it from another class. It'll make more sense later on. So let's say we have a private, and then we need a private string, which is a name. A person also has an age, so let's say private int age. A person, we also want to see if the person is married or not. So we can have married. And we also want to know, let's say the race. Actually, I'll skip this. Okay, so we have this. Now we want to see, to actually make the person. So we can make the person in programming terms using the constructor. So what the constructor does is when you initiate the variable, and this will make more sense later on, but when you initiate the variable, you can add all of these fields and then assign it directly to the person. So let's say public person, and we can initiate all the things here. Name, int age, and then boolean married. And we use this command which refers to the actual thing, or we can just use different and extend it like that. So we can say name equals name, age equals age, and married equals married. Or sometimes you would want to use the this.married equals whatever. The this just simply refers to the specific variable. So here with this we actually provide values to these things. Now, some of these are constant, some of these change. What can possibly change? We can change if someone is married or not. So let's actually change that. Public void got married. So if you got married, then we want to make the married variable true. Because you know what, you just got married. But let's say if you got divorced, what will you do? So boolean got married. Got married. Married. Boolean is now married. So now we do married equals is now married. So this way, since it's public, another class can access this, and the other class can change the variable that's hidden. But what if we want to get the actual variable? I don't know what the variable is. I want to see from an outside class what the variable is. I would make what's called a return method. Is married, and with this return method we will return married. Now notice how this is public, notice how this is public. And you'll see how this works in a second. So we want to also make a public int get age. And then this one, depending on your teacher, should be a get is married. Depends on your teacher or whoever's marking or however you want it to be. It's not all about marks. Public int, and then that's string name, and then return name. Get name. Okay, so we have this. So we have the basic template for a person. Now let's actually get another class. Let's get another class called ratio. Okay. Now let's just call it a main. So public static void main string args. And inside here we want to make a new person. So person ratio equals new person ratio 16 false. Okay, so what I just did was I used the person template and used the object of person. I declared the name of it, so this will be the reference to the object, the identifier, equals new person, and now I'm using this constructor. So if you remember in HSA, with my previous tutorials, HSA has like a constructor. So you can have different constructors and they will overload each other. So in this instance, I have a constructor with a name, an age, and married. So I followed this constructor. I added my name, I added my age, and I added that I'm not married. So let me first save this, see if it runs. One error, married. And I cannot find main. Okay, I need to save this as a public class main. And I probably need to save it as main not too. I don't care. Okay, so basically this does not, ready to program does not like multiple classes. What's the problem? Okay, so I'll be right back with the other programming software. Hello, I'm back. So I just had to copy it over into a different ID because ready to program doesn't let it, and that's why most teachers even use Dr. Java instead. Just doesn't like multiple classes. Okay, so back to running. So if I run this, it works fine. Nothing happens. It didn't tell it to do anything. So now let's actually use some of the methods in my new person. So I declared myself as an object. Let's see my name. Now, since this is a public method, it should not give an error. So you see, I just got my name. I change my name here to 564. Oh, look, it works. Okay, so this is good. So we basically have our name here. But let's say we have some private information. There's another person called Alex, but we don't know Alex's age because Alex likes to hide his birthday. So we would have something similar, but we would need a different constructor because we don't actually know the age. Now we can always add age equals -1, but that's just weird. So we can do it this way. So name equals name, married equals married. Now the issue with this is that once we call get age will be null, which will throw an error. You can choose to error trap this. So if age equals 0, well, you will get 0. then you will throw a -1. So that is an option. Or you can pre-initialize this to -1, and then when you return, you can error trap. But anyways, let's just keep this to the basics. So here we have a different one. So now let's make person Alex. New person, Alex. We don't know his age now. So let's just say he's not married. And this will work. This is not an error. Because Java will automatically select the method that has the proper parameters to it. So here we have the proper parameters and it'll work. So if we do system.out.alex.getName, it will actually write Alex. Alex, okay. Now let's make something different. Let's just take, we took our example of a doctor. So a doctor is a person, obviously. You don't have monkey doctors, bunny doctors. So a doctor is a person. So the doctor should inherit all of these traits too. But it's something that's a little bit more specific. It's not just any person is a doctor. No, that's not how it works. Specific people are doctors. Specific people are engineers. So we would do what's called extends person. So when a doctor extends a person, a doctor inherits all of the traits of a normal person. This includes name, age, married. All of these things go into the doctor. So let's begin. There's several different things that a doctor has. A doctor, for example, has a specialization. Private string specialization. A doctor also has, let's say, years experience. Last but not least, a doctor also has medical school. So that's the medical school that the doctor graduated from. So when we make the constructor for doctor, which is this thing over here, the public person, whatever, we have a public doctor. So let's follow the thing we did before. Int name, int age, boolean married, and you will see why you need to retype this in a second. We also need to fill in these things. So specialization into years experience string medical school. Oh, okay. So now we know that this is a subclass and so it inherits everything from this class. So let's just call this a superclass. Super, right? So this is at the top of the hierarchy tree. Now we want to actually, we know that it's a person, so it'll still have similar traits as a person. So what we'll do is we will be super happy and call super. So let's call super with our name, age, and married. So basically our person class will handle these things, calling the super and then does these for us. Now let's declare specialization equals, and I'm too lazy to type that, in. Now we have our years, do it this way. Okay, and medical school. Alright, there we go. And now we need to do our get and set methods. So we can just do public. I'm getting lazy, so I'm just going to do the int one because you guys hopefully get the idea. Okay, so now let's say that there's a person called Stefan. So if we just do person Stefan equals new person, and we try to fill in the doctor parameters, let's see what happens. So Stefan is 15 and he's a doctor. Well, we'll try to make him a doctor. He's already married at 15. He's a cyclist doctor, which is a very special type of doctor. He has 20 years of experience, more than he even lived. And he went to William Mackenzie. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is a person. Let's try to compile this. Will it work? Oh no, it didn't. So I cannot find the constructor for this. That's unfortunate. So what we have to do is we know that he's a doctor. We have this doctor called Stefan. Let's try to run it. Oh, it worked. Okay. So is he really a doctor? So what years experience of plus Stefan dot get name. So we're going to use the method from here plus is plus, and now years experience. So again, I called the method wrong because I'm rushing. It should be get years experience. Don't do that during tests, unless you want to fail like me. So get years experience. Oh, we have a problem. Stefan. Okay. Oh, look at that. Years experience of Stefan is 20. Good job. So basically, this is how it works. This is the general concept of inheritance, different objects, and using the super word. So this is it. Basically, this is basically it. Now, some things to notice. Again, private field variables, so the global variables here, they're all private because you want to hide them. And you want to force the other class running it, the runner class, to use the methods instead, like get years experience. And the reason for this is to make sure that it's safe and that you always return an acceptable value. You'll see this more throughout different assignments, for example, an address book, where you'll be using person and person records and address book classes in order to ensure that the fields that you're getting are actually valid, and that also all the information that you're putting into the class is valid. So you always have public methods. The public methods will be allowed to be accessed by using the object type. So this is the object reference, and we can declare with a variable. Now here's another thing. We can also use a static method. So let's say we have public static, and then here we have public static minimum years experience. And here we do return 10. Okay? So this is a bad example, but what static means, and you've probably been lied all along, you basically don't need an object for a doctor. Let's take out all these things. And let's say that we want to see the minimum number of years experience. So what you would think, if you don't know the answer or why I'm doing this, is you'd need to declare a doctor. Wrong. Okay? You don't need to declare any variables. You can just call the doctor class directly. So basically what this means is it allows you to do it without what? Oh, what am I doing? Okay. So basically what this allows you is to access a method without actually creating an object. Now this is beneficial. Say for example you have a utility class which verifies to see if all of the inputs, the user puts, are valid or not. You can use a utility class by using public methods, and you'll see this further on in different assignments, but this is essentially how it operates. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'll probably make more tutorials if I'm bored. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and thanks for watching.